Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something pretty cool shared by a listener. It's from a blog post, Notes on Gardening, Part 520.
Right, by someone named Ang. And it details this shift in how they approach starting seeds outdoors.
Exactly. They moved away from using plastic bag covers, which lots of people do, towards something much more natural, dried twigs.
Yeah, it sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But that's the mission today. Understand why this seemingly basic technique actually worked surprisingly well for Ang.
So if you've ever tried gardening, even just a pot on the balcony, or you just appreciate, clever, simple fixes, this one's for you.
Okay, so setting the scene a bit, Ang mentions getting back into seed germination after a break.
Yeah, something about house painting and checking out the tropical weather situation. So that explains the timing and why the focus is outdoors.
And it sets up the context for trying something new. The previous method involved plastic bags, but Ang clearly wasn't totally satisfied, otherwise why change? Right.
Good point. So the new method, Aang basically took old, dried branches and twigs, I think from Basil and Torenia Fournieri plants.
Yeah, those specific plants were mentioned. So readily available garden waste, essentially.
And just use that as a covering layer, right on top of the soil in the pots where the seeds were sown.
Exactly. Not buried, just a loose layer on the surface.
Okay, so what were the benefits Aang actually saw? It wasn't just aesthetics, presumably.
No, definitely not. Ang listed several key things. First, moisture retention.
Right, like a mini mulch layer, stopping the soil drying out so fast.
Precisely. The twigs would disrupt the airflow right at the soil surface, cutting down on evaporation. Big deal in warm weather.
Makes sense. What else?
Temperature moderation. That layer of twigs acts as insulation.
Ah, okay. So buffering against those like sudden heat spikes or maybe cooler nights and tropical weather.
Exactly. It creates a more stable microclimate for the seeds. Less stress.
And there was more too, right? Something about protection.
Yeah, protection from the elements. Think about strong wind or heavy rain beating down on bare soil.
Oh yeah, that could definitely disturb tiny seeds or seedlings.
The twig layer helps break the force of the rain and shelters the soil surface. Ang also mentioned protection from birds.
Birds. Okay, yeah, they can be a real menace for freshly sown seeds. The twigs would make it harder for them to get at them.
Definitely. It's like a natural, breathable shield.
So did Aang have like proof this was actually working better?
Well, yeah, and this is maybe the most convincing part. They specifically mentioned chili seeds.
Okay.
They compared pots with the twig covering to pots left exposed. And the results for the chili seeds under the twigs were noticeably better.
Huh. A direct comparison. That's pretty solid evidence then, especially for chilies which can sometimes be a bit fussy to germinate.
Right. It really highlights the practical effectiveness. It wasn't just a theory. They saw a difference.
And Aang isn't necessarily done experimenting either. The post ends with, "Till the next post."
Yeah. Which suggests this is kind of an ongoing journey. We're seeing a snapshot of their process.
Correct.
Maybe there'll be more insights later.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How often do we reach for a manufactured solution when something simple and natural is right there?
Totally. We look for the plastic dome, the special seed starting mix, but maybe just some old twigs from the garden could do the trick, or part of it anyway.
So, recapping Aang's findings. Using these dried twigs seems to tick a lot of boxes for outdoor seed starting.
Better moisture, stable temperatures, protection from weather, birds, leading potentially to just, well, better germination rates.
It's kind of a great reminder that effective doesn't always mean complicated or expensive.
Not at all. Sometimes it's just about observing, being resourceful with what you've got. That chili seed example really drives it home.
Yeah, a simple, elegant solution hiding in plain sight. So for you listening, here's something to chew on. What readily available natural materials are around you?
Right. In your garden, your neighborhood, maybe even indoors. Could they have unexpected uses in your hobbies or just everyday life that you haven't thought of?
Makes you wonder what other simple, ingenious hacks are just waiting out there.